Welcome, this is Eva Vlaskova, day 8 of 30 days challenge going live on Facebook. Today my heart is still feeling quite tender. I wonder what I'm picking on, but it will unravel and I will share it. What would I like to share today? I was reflecting about how long time ago I had to create my own mantra for reminding me myself that everyone is able to receive only what they're ready for. Therefore my mantra was do not offer help unless someone reaches out. Especially if you are identifying with me, you may have tendency to really want to jump in and try to assist in someone else's life. And I know it may feel like how you're not going to interfere if you actually have skills or knowledge. The thing is, until a person does not get extremely uncomfortable, they are not really pushed out of their comfort zone, even though it's not that comfortable at all, but it's their old known. Therefore, they know how to survive it. Stepping outside of that, it's actually quite scary. And especially when you're dealing with people who you really care the most about, frequently what happens is, especially as you start progressing on your journey and developing your gifts, it's very hard to watch their blind spots and kind of backing up and not pushing on them any of your knowledge or any of your solutions, because it actually creates the contrary effect. First, they don't understand the point where you're coming from. It implies from their perspective that you are judging them, and third, if they actually accept any kind of assistance, you are stepping into negative karmic patterns where you're actually starting to create some kind of dependency. And the moment you start realizing their lives are not improving and you withdraw their assistance, that by then they may have already developed some addiction to your assistance, because it's always there. It became that unwritten rule. If you suddenly decide I'm exhausted, it's enough, no matter what I do, there's no any positive change. In that moment, you become the villain, and that does not serve to anyone. So witnessing someone who's going through something that's not pleasant and realizing all I can do is just watch with compassion and just be there for whenever that person reaches out. And at the same time, not trying to change anything, because until they are ready, whatever benefit they could receive from their assistance, if you keep pushing on them, whatever you have to offer to them, they will actually close to it. Yeah, I don't really know why I felt like sharing it today. Well, I am observing some dynamics in some parts of the people I knew in the past. And aside from that, it is very tricky to just start rambling and going with the flow when I don't have anyone on the call. I find it much easier having that interaction two ways. That's what I'm calling in. And I've got a few people who are interested in jumping on the call. It could not happen today, that's alright. I'll share with you the conversation I had with one of my clients today in the morning. Especially when I'm working with someone for the first time, the very first session is checking their comfort zone and when I realized that the person is still kind of complaining, not very content with where they are, but at the same time it's like not having that kick in them yet to really create that propulsion forward, that nerve, like, okay, it's time to step in because the time is ticking. I actually got him to imagine himself visiting his younger version, 11 years old version of himself, and give him a life advice. And the wisdom that came out of this person was amazing. And then we spin it around. Okay, now imagine the version of you that's 30 years older than you are comes to visit you exactly to this moment, to this conversation, asking you what you have done with those 20 years since that conversation have taken place. And that's where I could feel how everything started shaking for him. So I took it next level, no? And I asked him to actually go to one of those apps where you can download your picture and the system automatically show you the version of you 20 years older. And I asked him to print that out and have it on the mirror. So in the morning, when he's getting ready for his day, he's seeing himself in the morning, the version of him now, and he sees this version of 20 years older of him in the mirror, and how he's being perceived by others, what are his achievements, and then realizing whatever he's going to embody, whatever he wants that older version of himself to embody, depends on the choices he's taking today. And I just received a beautiful message from him as how he really got inspired and motivated, and he started looking into things already, which is beautiful. And that's the moment where I'm like, yes, we can work together. I really need from my clients the right kind of motivation. I am after transformation. I want to see those little tiny miracles in real life, in real time, no? And I want to see how the person goes from A to B and overcoming any limiting beliefs, or just shifting from stagnation into this flow and embracing the unknown and letting go of these dreams that are kind of like in the air, like we cannot even talk about the time frames like in 5 years. It's something that's dependent on many factors. No, let's come back 6 months time. Where are you gonna be in 6 months time? Are we going to sit down again in 6 months, and are we going to discover that nothing has changed? I'm not interested in that kind of sessions at all. One, I'm not doing my work, and two, I don't get the satisfaction of seeing that positive growth, and then my client does not really get most out of his session neither. And that's just waste of time, and life is precious. Let's not waste time. Let's get uncomfortable in order to create that propulsion forward. Therefore, I am sharing with you this idea of the picture that actually came up to me during the session, because as soon as I brought to the picture the version, the 20 years older version of my client, I could start feeling lots of cold running through me, which is a confirmation from the spirit world for me, like this is where I'm really getting deep into where it actually moves something. And in a sense, we can get stuck at constantly analyzing and going in our mind over things that have already passed, that we have worked on, no? And unless we start focusing on where are we heading to from now on, we just stay in this limbo. That's that danger, and I'm not interested in that. That's the reason also why I'm recording these sessions. And these are the sessions I'm having with each new client before actually offering any kind of further sessions, the next level of sessions like soul profile sessions, because they really explain about the way you were designed to operate in this world. And the idea of those sessions is to really embrace that purest version of yourself with the energies, embodying those energies that the divine infused you with at the moment of your creation. But for that, first we really need to start working on your mindset. So if you feel ready to really start creating significant changes in your life, and you are reaching the point of impatience of, I don't want to waste another year. I mean, there's no time wasted. Even when we're not being productive or not creating something positive for our future, we're still having certain experiences that are creating that build-up effect that eventually will push us forward. Therefore, never ever feel bad about your moment of stagnation, because that stagnation as well is essential for you to maybe integrate and recover. Therefore, seen from that perspective, it's still constructive, because especially if you spend years and years focusing on inner work and self-healing, eventually you really need to just pause and be with yourself and take care of yourself and take that time to recover. And as you start gaining more strength and more confidence in yourself and start opening yourself up to actually social life maybe, and stepping outside your comfort zone, that's where big leaps may happen. But as well, every time you make a big leap, make sure you pause for a little bit and make of that your new status quo. Because if you just keep constantly leaping, you are not giving your brain opportunity to really make itself familiar in the new way of being. Therefore, the first challenge that may come back to you, it will bounce you back to the very beginning or even to the worst situation that you've been before, and there's no benefit in it at all. And it does not mean it's bad neither, because sometimes it as well fulfills its purpose, because sometimes we do need to revisit situation we have overcome already, because there's still some relevant piece for us there to reclaim, own, and make it part of our toolkit. So everything is welcome, everything is okay, and the phrase I share with majority of my clients is, you are right on time, you are right on track. And let's not use it as something to justify that we just sit back, relax, and hope for better days to come. Especially when things start getting better, we are at the risk of just getting far too content where we are. So cultivating some kind of degree of discontentment, it's quite useful, but it's a tool. You use it as a tool, not as a instrument of torture, self-torture, or instrument of punishing yourself for not going too fast. Use it as a motivation to keep improving on a daily basis, because where could you be in 6 months? And once you really learn how to navigate this and you get very comfortable with it, imagine 6 years on. Where are you going to be? How much you can achieve? And every time you get more comfortable with these processes and you reach the point where you realize you are unstoppable, the only person who can stop you is you, and the talk, the subconscious conversation you still may have in your mind. And then again, I would say it's okay to acknowledge that talk that you still may have there, and yes, you don't have to act upon it at all. You feel what it moves in your body, pay attention to yourself, embrace it, and reaffirm yourself on, I deserve good things happening to me, I deserve good life, and I'm going for it, because it's my divine right, it's my birthright. The only person who can take it away from you, it's you. So become your best ally. Thank you for watching. If you feel ready, drop me a message to book your first session, or drop a contact form on my website that is in the description. And I'm looking forward to sharing more tips and my personal journey with you in the future videos. Have a lovely afternoon. Take care.